Hello, everybody. Welcome to Flashing Arrows, the show where I cook, drink whiskey, and talk psychology. So I'm currently taking a bunch of pita bread and weighing it out into 2.5 ounce segments. Got a good one there. And transferring it onto a clean surface where I will let them proof for another 20 minutes. And I'm making pita bread, and it's going to be delicious. So I wanted to, the last video I just shot from a few moments ago, because I'm currently still cooking my little pita bread thing. So I wanted to talk to you about introversion versus extroversion. And it's the common parlance is, oh, I'm an extrovert because I recharge my batteries socially. And I'm an introvert because I need alone time. And then a lot of people say, well, I'm actually an ambivert because I'm special. And, sorry, where people enjoy both. And so I wanted to talk with you about the actual psychological origin of those terms, because like many things, there is a cultural parlance that they have, or a cultural whatever that they've kind of carried. But in case you were curious, here's the origin of what those terms, I don't want to be like, well, here's what they actually mean, because, like, you know, culture, there's a place in culture that we have, you know, we given them this credence. But so a fellow named Carl Jung, Swiss psychiatrist back in the day, I really want to read the book on psychological types. So he coined the term introvert and extrovert, and he, to the best of my knowledge, I haven't read the books. I really want to read them, but I'd rather just like find somebody who's read them and pick their brain about it. But so he did a lot of digging into it. Took him years and years and years to write this book, and he did. So the Myers-Briggs took from Carl Jung the concept of typology. So whenever you do the anything with typology, introvert, extrovert, sensate, intuitive, thinking, feeling, it's not bad. There's definitely some legitimacy to it, and but you really, it's so complicated, and when you kind of get the idea of it, then it's helpful, but it's like when the behaviorists said the concept of punishment, it's so hard to do correctly, don't even bother. And so typology is kind of like parlay with pirates, with the whole Jack Sparrow thing, and use it as a guideline, but it's rare that somebody is like, yep, you are just an extrovert, and rare that you are just like, yep, you're just an introvert. So, but let me run you down some introvert versus extrovert. So a lot of people think that it has to do with how you recharge your batteries, but it's actually how you take in sensory data. So the information that Carl Jung put down on his thing when he was talking about in one of the writings he was doing. So in one of the writings he was doing, he was giving this description of two kids walking through an abandoned neighborhood, or a neighborhood that was under construction, and it's this neighborhood that's under construction. And they come across an abandoned building, or a building that's under construction. And the extrovert says, hey, look, building, let's go check it out. I'm intrigued. And they're just like, yep, here's what it is. This is what's happening externally. Nothing more to investigate. But the introvert, and it's much more work to be an introvert in the social world. That's why I always say the world is made by and for extroverts, because we're the ones who got to it first. The introvert says, well, have I experienced this before, and what might happen, and let's actually run through all the experiences I've had with abandoned houses, and could we get injured, and could this happen, and could that happen. And so right now I'm just putting plastic wrap over these for the next 20 minutes so they don't get too dried out with the air. So then they go into the house, and then they find it's an old library, and so the extrovert is now forced into their inferior function. For me, it would be introverted thinking, but then so that's where the extrovert has to go, and the introvert is pushed into their most superior function, which is introverted thinking, which means they get to just sit and have their own little inner world and read and process stuff. So that is the difference between introversion and extroversion. I got a guest on right now. So thanks for tuning in. More to follow on typology.